Hello, Jen Gilchrist here. I am happy to be joining with all of you today for another Soulful Snippet episode where I am going to be talking about just stepping into the new year, really setting yourself up for success, for really aligning to that higher potential in 2019. I know the people that tend to follow me feel like they want to have it all. They know that having it all is possible. And they really have been stepping more and more and more into aligning with their higher purpose, their highest potential in this lifetime. And so this is going to be, we still have a few more days to utilize this end of the year energy. And I'm going to give you some exercises that you can do to help you get really clear on that, to really set yourself up for that next level of success and really make all your dreams come true, right? And oftentimes it's so much bigger than we even realize, but we can get overwhelmed and not in action. Oftentimes we can get really stuck, feeling like we don't know where to start when we have this big vision. And so one of the things I want to talk about to begin with is just really, I'm feeling this important message around, tapping into your own innate gifts, like tapping into your own innate knowing, your intuition. I'm a big proponent of people really tuning in and knowing their true heart's desires, right? And this can apply to all areas of your life, to your personal life, to your health, to your career. I'm going to talk a lot about applying it, how it can look applying to your business, because I know a lot of the people that are following me are feeling this calling to kind of be of service in the world in some way and be receiving money for their gifts, which is it's really being called into action now in a big way. But this is also true for how we hold space for our children and for our family and for those people that we're in contact with. We all have a purpose, and it's really, in its simplest form, is to be aligned with the truth of who you are, with that higher true self, right? And to express that divinity in all of your relationships and however that looks. And many of us are just called to share this on a scale to help guide and teach and be way showers for other people. And so that is really important. I know that you've been getting lots of intuitive guidances, lots of intuitive hits on how to really align with that. It really is so much about the day-to-day habits that add up over time. It's about making those choices day to day. That is this aligned with my higher path? Is this aligned to peace, aligned to love? Or am I aligning and making choices based out of fear, out of obligation or commitment or self-sacrifice or whatever that is, right? It becomes really clear if we can remember to realize that we can pivot at any point and choose to align to taking action from that higher perspective as often as we can, right? It's like awareness is the first key. Hey, thanks for joining. And so one of the things I've been feeling a lot is that for many of you, it's important to, you have this big vision, you have this big dream, but you may feel so far from it at times. Many of the people I work with want to write books, speakers, authors, messengers, leaders, way showers. And it's like, well, how the heck, right? How do I get there? And so one of the important things I've been feeling guided to share is that it's important to start taking time for the foundational pieces, especially in the business. But this is true with everything, taking small steps, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? That's a good way to look at anything that feels overwhelming, for sure. It's just taking that one step. And so I feel like it's important to say is, as you go into the new year, creating these new habits, and I'm going to give you an important exercise to really put the past behind and figure out how to align with this in just a minute. But looking at prioritizing your schedule feels like a big thing. Putting on the calendar ways to look at your passion projects, taking the one step towards that book, right? Doing the things that are more foundational pieces every week, even if it's just an hour, right? Setting some time for those foundational pieces in your business that your future self will thank you for is really, really important, because sometimes those things just get put on the back burner because they're not the immediate moneymaker, or they just feel like we don't have time for them. And I'm hearing that's really important to start to take action, as small as it may seem, on those things that are really connected to your passions and your heart's desire, and those longer term foundational building blocks of that bigger, higher vision that you see, that you desire so badly for yourself, that you actually know is possible. You feel it so badly, like there's almost like the alarm bell starts ringing, like it's time, right? For all of you that really feel guided on this spiritual path of being a way shower in some form or fashion, you feel this almost like the alarm bell ringing, because your soul is like, come on, get into action. And so it's really about planning for that success and taking the action, even if it seems small. Now, an exercise I want to give everyone, this is going to be useful for anyone, really, whether you apply it towards business or personal or just in general, is to really put the past to rest. We're at the end of the year here. Sometimes there's this culmination of like, here we go. these are the things I did and didn't do that I said I was going to do. You know, there's all this, you know, stuff going on sometimes for people around completion. It's a completion of a cycle, and we're going to start a new one. And so one thing you can do is just make 2 lists, right? And one of the lists is going to be, you can label it, you know, my higher self, this is really the list that's when you're in alignment to your higher self, your higher potential, your love, your desires. You know, this is just you on fire, you super aligned, you making amazing choices for you, right? And that are aligning to that most ideal, highest potential vision that you see for yourself in all areas, right? We're going to look at health, relationships, business, everything. And then the other list is kind of more your self-sabotaging self, right? It's based out of fear. It's based out of obligation. It's based out of self-sacrifice or self-sabotaging patterns. You know, you can kind of see it as the devil's advocate, your angel and your devil's advocate, or you can see it as love and fear, or you can see it as alignment or misalignment. You know, resistance might be over here as well, right? Because sometimes it's just straight up overwhelm. That might be our habit. So I want you to be honest with yourself and make that list and look at, and I want you to consider your health, you know, the choices and the habits and the daily actions and way of being and what you're doing in regards to your health, in regards to your career or your business, in regards to your relationship or your personal life or your personal passions, right? Look at who you're being and what you're doing. When you are on fire and you're aligned and you're feeling all lit up inside and super inspired and excited, and know that you're just like living in alignment with that higher purpose and that higher passion and that higher heart's desires, right? That truth of who you are. When you're doing that, who are you? How are you? What are you doing? What does your daily routine look like in all of those different areas? What are those qualities that you embody that you're acting from joy, from patience, from, you know, are you exercising regularly? Are you, you know, eating healthier? Like there's different little habits that are when you're feeling good. Are you sleeping, getting to bed early enough to get the good night's sleep? Like it's all these little habits you want to look at. Who are you being and who are you doing when you are actually feeling in that vibration of that higher potential and that aligned self, right? And then who are you being on this other side? We all have both sides. So it's not about judging. It's not about being critical of self. It's about awareness, and it's about making a choice at the end of the day. Okay. And so now we're going to look at, the truth is we all have both sides. So what is it? Are you being lazy? Are you kind of procrastinating? Is that a habit that you do when you're in resistance, or you're just like, meh? You know, for me, one of them is staying up way too late, you know, scrolling Facebook or Netflix or something that's keeping me awake too much, not getting the sleep. Then I don't wake up, and I, you know, maybe slack on my meditation time, you know, things like that. It's a slippery slope. So what are the things that you can catch yourself in that might be the self-sabotaging, self-defeating habits, or how you act when you're in resistance or not honoring your true needs or desires, right? Again, how are you being and what are you doing in the big and the small form, in your health, in your relationships, in your business, in your career, in your personal life, in your spiritual habits. And I want you to make those 2 lists as honestly as you can. And then at the bottom, you're going to look at them and you're going to say, okay, so if I look at this side, my aligned self, my true self, my higher options here, when I'm really acting in integrity and loving myself, if I did these actions, where would I be? If I chose these actions most of the time, you know, where would I be in 1 year? Like, where does this lead me? Where does this potentially lead me to? Right? All of a sudden you can see this possibility. You see the dreams happening. You see the reality unfolding before you that you've chosen to create through these choices each day, right? Of who you're being and how you're showing up in the world and how you're doing things, right? And then if you look at the other lists, like, okay, well, what if I choose this procrastination, this choosing to not do things out of fear, or putting everybody else first, never acknowledging my own desires or passions or hobbies or interests, you know, maybe eating fast food all the time, you know, not taking the time to cook healthfully for yourself, you know, all these different things. I'm just speaking from things that I can think of off the top of my head, right? It's going to be different for everyone. Where will you be in a year if you're in that energy, taking action from that space most of the time, right? It's an interesting inquiry. They're going to be very different where they lead you to, and it really does come down to those 1 or 2 little the daily choices, the daily actions. And so at the end of that, I want you to look at that. I want you to, you know, just the awareness of that will help you be empowered to make new choices. You might, from that list of what you desire, you know, that's where you can do your morning affirmations. You can use journaling. Actually, I'm going to put that in here. I almost forgot about that. I have a special a program around setting yourself up for success. And it's like a journaling. It's a 21-day course that has like 3 videos around how to align to your abundance readings. It has like how my morning rituals are with my meditation, my journaling practices to create my reality, to heal from the past, to let it go, and to move on into a more expanded version of myself that feels really, really good, right, to me. So I put that in there. It's only $47. I'm going to give it, it's a special pricing. It's normally $197. I'm going to do $47 because it's really, really powerful. And there's 21 days to start to learn how to use journaling to create your life. And it's really about those day-to-day steps. So going back to what I was saying is that first list, if you decide, okay, well, this is the potential here, this is the potential there. Yeah, I'm going to want to choose these things. Your awareness is now highlighted to making the empowered choice instead of the self-sabotaging choice more often, right? We're not going to be perfect. So it's not about judging yourself if you don't that day, but it's about choosing it more often. And you're going to see big strides and big changes in your life when you begin to become more aware and choose from this list of being, a way of being, right? And so then you can use that to be really your motivator. You can create affirmations around that. You can put a post-it reminding yourself, a list in your wallet of the choices you want to be making or doing, a particular habit you want to shift, right? It's a perfect time to really begin to do that. And it's really, really important because I know that many of you are very sensitive, empathic, heart-centered people. I feel more men are starting to watch, but really a lot of women follow me. And so we're nurturers, right? We're taking care of everybody else. And men can hold this quality as well, especially when they're more connected to their feminine energy. But it's like really not being the doormat, really choosing ourselves first, filling up our own love cup is super, super important so that we can fuel our energy and have more love to give and be a better partner and be a better mother and be a more inspired self, and teaching them how to do that for themselves, right? We're leading by example to our children. We're leading by example to the people that are watching us on Facebook or who are our clients. And it's important for us to walk the walk and walk the talk, not say, do as I say, not as I do. That never works, right? And so really you're teaching and instilling these habits and way of thinking and way of loving oneself to those around you as well. And that would just make the world a happier place, right? Would you agree? So yeah, that's kind of the message for today. I just really felt like, you know, especially for everybody, but in regards to those of you in the purpose work industry, people that know you have something that you want to be really acting on, intuitively take action on those guidances, tap into your passions and desires, start to plan for the future, take action. And again, if this is for you and you're not in a business, then taking time, you know, 1 hour a week for you to do your passions or read the book, or go take up a hobby for you or do something for you, right? Again, something that fuels you up. But for many of you, it's going to be in your business. It's time to start planning those foundational steps. It's time to start taking action 1 or 2 at a time, and you'll see a big change in 6 months or a year's time. So that is that. Set yourself up for success. I see you shining. I'm so excited to have you in my community. Let me know your comments or thoughts. What is it you're creating? What is it you're letting go of? You know, share anything you'd like, and I'll support you with that vision as well. And check out the Elevate link below. It's I have a special on sale for $47 instead of $197, which is all around really creating your self for success habits, which is helping you to create the reality that you want and let go and heal from and leave the past behind. So that's it. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thanks for joining, and I'll talk to you soon.